The day I found a dead fish flopping in my toilet, I knew the HOA had declared war. At first, I thought it was a cruel prank or a bizarre accident. But when I turned on the kitchen tap and got only a wheeze and a clank, the truth hit hard. My cattle troughs were bone dry, my tomatoes drooped like they'd been hexed, and the dogs eyed the bird bath like it held holy water. Bewildered, I stumbled outside, boots half-tied, still groggy, and spotted a crisp envelope taped to my fence post like a taunting trophy. The HOA's watermarked seal gleamed, the cheerful font masking a gut punch. Water access suspended pending compliance with HOA green space regulations. Thank you for understanding. No warning, no meeting, no explanation, just cut off. As if I were a squatter on their turf, not the owner of 20 acres my family had worked since 1957. I stormed to the HOA office, dust trailing my boots, fury driving each step. The place reeked of lemon polish and Pamela Sterling's smug perfume. Pamela, self-proclaimed guardian of suburban perfection, lounged behind her desk like she ran a federal agency. Her yard boasted a fountain, a koi pond, and enough water to fill a boutique hotel pool. When I demanded why the HOA could cut my water, she grinned like a fox in a henhouse. Your yard's unkempt, and you're within HOA boundaries. Bylaws are clear. I stared, torn between laughter and rage, and asked if she'd personally measured my shrubs for compliance with Section 3.4.2. Unfazed, she handed me a brochure, Landscaping Harmony for a Brighter Tomorrow. Back home, the game became clear. Pamela had a history of power trips. Last year, she fined me for my rooster crowing pre-8:00 a.m., as if livestock punched clocks. Before that, she called my antique windmill aggressive. But this was no petty fine. Starving a rancher's water was sabotage. She wanted my land for her community recreation annex, and discomfort was her weapon to force a sale. She didn't count on my stubborn streak, fueled by solar panels and spite. I called my friend Jasper, who owed me for pulling his truck from a ditch during a 1999 blizzard. Now an off-grid expert, he whistled at my tail. Time to yank the sun down and shove it up their pipes. That evening, in my barn, we sketched a plan on a feed sack, a solar-powered pump, underground cistern, private irrigation, all legal, on my deeded land, untouchable by the HOA. Under darkness, with beers and a headlamp, we dug trenches, the barn a covert ops hub. Pipes snaked beneath flower beds, hidden from HOA drones. Each wire felt like a rebellion. 2 days later, Pamela rolled up in her golf cart, clipboard in hand, sunglasses government issue large. Sniffing for defiance, she asked if I was ready to comply. I handed her a crayon-drawn blueprint of a bird bath and regulation shrubs, labeled for neighborhood harmony. She nodded, satisfied, and drove off, oblivious that my solar pump would soon tap the aquifer, reviving my troughs and tomatoes. I didn't mention the HOA's leased water rights, expiring in 6 weeks, or my bid to claim them. Silence was my sharpest blade. The next morning, I walked my land, coffee in hand, past rehydrated troughs and perky vegetables. The solar rig hummed, a crown jewel unseen by Pamela's spies. I toasted it, marveling at its defiance. No permits denied, no HOA fingerprints. They'd tried to break me. Instead, they'd sparked a better system. Across the fence, HOA board members scratched heads by their parched community garden, fanning themselves in the heat. I smiled. The game had shifted. Jasper arrived with a trailer of parts, dust rising like a war cry. We installed solar panels in the back pasture, angled for maximum sun, invisible to drones. Trenches, dug at night, hid pipes feeding a 10,000-gallon cistern, enough for livestock and crops through drought. The setup was silent, legal, and a direct affront to Pamela's control. While Jasper wired panels, I visited the county courthouse, confirming the HOA's leased water rights, set to expire soon. At the municipal office, I bid for the lease, showing my aquifer's reach. The broker, amused, noted no competing bids. The HOA assumed automatic renewal, but the fine print disagreed. I signed, left with a receipt, and returned to find Jasper testing the pump. Water flowed strong, untouched by HOA pipes. That night, grilling steaks, I grinned. The air smelled of mesquite and progress. Pamela's spies, drones, board members, lawn chair gossips would notice soon, but I was ready. 3 days later, she marched down my drive, heels stabbing gravel, demanding to inspect unreported construction. I gestured to the pasture, where only cattle grazed. Construction in common areas needs approval, I said. This isn't one. She pivoted, offering water reinstatement for hosting the HOA's spring festival. Nervousness betrayed her. Pamela didn't negotiate, she dictated. I played along, requesting terms in writing, watching her beam, thinking she'd won. Jasper and I fortified the system, disguising pipes as farm gear, routing overflow to decoy tanks. My crops thrived, mocking the HOA's dry plots. Pamela's festival letter arrived, promising temporary water access for cooperation. I edited it, adding a clause for full compensation of damages, had my lawyer witness it, and framed it beside my grandfather's saddle, both symbols of freedom. The festival was a gaudy spectacle, string lights, hay bales, watermelon heavy tables. Pamela insisted on my ranch for unity, craving sunset photo ops. SUVs and golf carts flooded my gate. The mayor, polo shirt untucked, shook hands like it was election season. Pamela, in a pastel jumpsuit, led him around, touting community values, omitting her water cutoff. By mid-afternoon, trouble brewed. Portable toilets ran dry, garden sprinklers failed, and the refreshment tent's sink gurgled. Pamela waved it off, blaming timers, but her smart system was dead. A hidden vine had clogged the HOA's corroded pipe under my easement. Nature's sabotage, which I'd overlooked. As guests grumbled, I offered a tour of my solar pump, playing the helpful rancher. The mayor, eager for green credentials, followed with a crowd. Behind the barn, I unveiled the humming system, explaining its solar power and independence. All legal, county approved, I said, handing the mayor the inspector's report. Pamela's face soured. Questions flew. Could others join? Was it scalable? Pamela interrupted, but the crowd ignored her. Someone asked about future HOA events. I offered water at market rates, on paper. The mayor nodded. Pamela snapped. This is sabotage. I replied, you cut my water. I adapted. The mayor pressed her on the shutoff. She stammered about landscaping violations, but the crowd drifted away, questioning her leadership. The festival collapsed, wilted pies, overheated guests, Pamela's mascara streaking. I offered water to lingerers, even the mayor, who praised my sustainable setup. Pamela stood alone, dignity crumbling. The fallout was swift. Clips of her meltdown, spraying herself with lemonade, went viral. The HOA's inbox flooded with complaints. Board members huddled in secret. Pamela's complaint against my system backfired. Inspector Clara, a no-nonsense veteran, cleared my setup, but found an illegal PVC line siphoning HOA water to Pamela's koi pond. A state audit uncovered rerouted funds, fake invoices, and targeted water cutoffs. The treasurer quit, 2 board members followed, and Pamela's witch hunt defense flopped. At a public meeting, the mayor read the findings, a resident's quip. We paid for her koi pond. Ignited outrage. A petition ousted Pamela by landslide. I secured the water lease for 10 years, offering neighbors affordable access off the HOA grid. Pamela sold her house, fleeing to a gated community. Under a cottonwood, I spoke at a town meeting, saying we'd built independence, not revenge. A bonfire glowed as kids roasted marshmallows, and Curtis toasted quiet victories. My solar pump hummed, proof that when they cut your supply, you dig deeper, turning their war into your triumph.